We've called education the new political battleground. You've heard that before. And again, books are getting caught in the crossfire. Both Democrats and Republicans are calling to ban numerous books from school libraries. The American Library Association tracking at least 330 challenges from just September to November of 2021 alone. Joining me now to talk more about this, Mo Kelly and Tony Katz. Gentlemen, appreciate both of your time. Thank you, and good to see you. All right, Mo, let me start with you. Mo Kelly, it's beginning to feel a lot like Fahrenheit 451. At least that's what I'm hearing. So what's going on here? Give me your take.
Well, I think you described it adequately and appropriately in your introduction. This is a political thing. This is not organic in nature. These are political forces trying to animate their respective voting bases. Like you said, it is on both sides. I would say it's on more on one side than the other, but they're trying to animate voters as we move towards the midterm elections. And they need something to get people out there. And this animates them.
Tony, it seems most of these books called to be banned are from Republicans. They're supposed to be the party of free speech, but we can't have it both ways, can we?
They are the party of free speech. We should all be the party of free speech. I can't believe we should think it should only belong to one. But I believe that you both have a misunderstanding of what's going on here. Parents are finally aware of what's going on in their kids' schools. They have ceded their kids' education to these institutions that they were supposed to trust. And what they have learned over the last couple of years is that they cannot trust them. And they're seeing things that they never thought they'd see before. And they're asking questions about it. And some people are being very rational about it, and some people are being very angry about it. But this is what happens when parents start getting themselves back involved in their kids' education. This is extremely valuable, and it's not book burning. It's not Fahrenheit 451. We're talking about school libraries. We're not talking about whether or not someone can sell a book like Abigail Schreier, who writes a book about the transgender craze seducing our girls and isn't allowed on bookseller lists out of Target and other places.
Well, I'm not going to go after just Republicans here. I'm equally going to target Democrats here. So, Mo Kelly, liberals are guilty of this too. And careful, Tony. I'm going to play both sides of this coin. Targeting books like To Kill a Mockingbird. I mean, where does that get you? To talk about the conversation happening in schools, and why are we here again? Right? This is not a new fight.
It's not a new fight, and I had to read To Kill a Mockingbird, Huckleberry Finn, Of Mice and Men, and I was offended each time I had to read the N-word. So this is not new, but let's be honest about what it is. We're talking about physical books in a school library in a post-internet world. We're talking about classrooms which have laptops for all the kids, with kids who have actual phones with internet on them. This is a fake debate. It is not real. It's not a thing. If you want to say that parents are now awake and taking notice of what's going on in school, that belies the fact that there is an internet out there. And as much as I respect Tony Katz with all my heart, he knows that this is a political issue, not an actual educational one.
Well, let me ask you both this question. Tony, I'll start with you. I mean, isn't it good to expose our kids to different points of view, multiple perspectives on whatever topic it is, if it's race, religion, sex, you name it?
Oh, absolutely, positively. But that's up to the parent to do. On the conversation of the internet, you'll notice that school internets are always locked down. There are many sites that kids can't get to. Are we arguing that middle school kids should be able to get to Pornhub? I don't think we really are, but if somebody is, please point them out to me so I don't invite them into my home. The conversation here is whether or not parents have rights, and parents who are getting involved in their kids' education. If you want to argue it is political, and like people who want to argue this is just about the culture wars. I'm somebody who is very keen on the culture war. Winning the culture is extremely important. And there has been the seeding of education, the seeding of arts, the seeding of sciences, and a series of other things. And people are finally saying, no, we can't give those things up. We have to be involved. I think it's wonderful.
Mo Kelly, I'll give you the final word, and I will admit I don't have as much time as Tony just took.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
It's right. No, it's all right. Be involved, but also involve James Baldwin. Also involve Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, and also Richard Wright. It's not just one idea of what is right in America, no pun intended.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you to you both. I'm reading And the Mountains Echoed right now. Great book. I don't anticipate it's going to get banned. I recommend it. Guys, thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, on this national holiday on